Hey guys, I'm Rae, and Jason's not here this week because he is doing his quarterly visit to the home office for his full-time job, so it is just me this week, and Carmen. But today's vlog is actually about Carmen because she has her first vet appointment on the road. Stay tuned. So this week has been pretty boring. This has literally been my entire situation. I have been editing videos and filming other videos and writing blog posts, so it's been a pretty boring week here at home, but I've been actually anxiously awaiting this vet appointment. Nothing is wrong with Carmen. It's just that now that we're on the East Coast, there's a whole new set of critters out here and insects and just like horrible things that my mind is seeing in Facebook groups and then like fearing that that will happen to Carmen. Just the other day there was a picture of this dog's paw, bottom of his paw, and he had like honestly like what looked to be like 30 or 50 ticks. It was disgusting, and it wasn't anyone's actual dog. They're just spreading around this gross picture of what I'm assuming is probably a stray dog that, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's gross. So, and it's scarring me. So today is her first vet appointment on the road. She had her final vet appointment before we left with our regular vet that has actually cared for her all her life. So she's going to be 4 this year, and so she's been seeing that vet ever since she was a puppy and we got her. So it was actually a nice reminder because that vet sends me text messages when she's due for something, and she's due for a shot in June, so we're only 2 weeks away from there, so I figured why not do the vet appointment now, and I've had it on my mind, so we're just gonna get it out of the way. So here we are. I found a vet who has great reviews on Yelp, great reviews on Google, so that's the vet I went with. I'm just going to be asking a million questions of what does she need to be protected from the East Coast, like what are there extra things I should be watching out for? I don't know. I think that's what scares me the most is just the unknown. She is on a topical flea, tick, and mosquito monthly medicine. I'm also worried about worms, and she puts a lot of things in her mouth. She's disgusting. She will like literally eat anything off the side of the road. So Jason and I are actually always scanning in front of her to make sure. Like, I have no idea why, but there was a full Hostess cupcake out on the street one time when I was on a jog with her, and I didn't catch it, and I looked down right as she's got like chomping down on this, like right before she gets to it, and I just like freaked out. Anyway, that doesn't matter. So I'm just concerned that she's gonna eat something and then get something from that, so I'll be asking the vet all about that as well. Well, it's actually time to go anyway, so let's go get this doggy. Carmen, you ready? You like the vet, huh? She actually really likes the vet, and she'd get really excited when we drove up to our other vet. She's ready to go, so let's go. Alright guys, we are back. Carmen. So we were actually there for an hour and a half, which is the longest I have ever spent in a vet's office. I'm not upset about it though. They answered all of my questions. I'm gonna put you down. Alright, that's a little better. So this vet spent an hour and a half with us. Not the vet herself, but I was in the office for an hour and a half, and I was talking to someone almost the entire hour and a half. Bless you. I really liked that. They really reassured me that, you know, my fears about insects out here were justified, but also how to manage them and how to keep Carmen protected. And so we had a lengthy talk about mosquitoes and ticks and fleas and, you know, different ways to prevent them. I'm really happy with this vet. I liked her a lot. So I'm in Charleston area of South Carolina right now, and I can put her information below if you're in this area, or, you know, you're also going to be passing through this area and it's time for a vet checkup for you too. I would definitely recommend her. She was great. So yes, after being there for an hour and a half, my mind has been eased. They answered every single question I had about Carmen, and I was really appreciative of that. Not that my other vet didn't do that, it's just I lived in a really populated area, so it was, you know, in and out, in and out. You had an appointment time, you better not be late for that appointment. The vet was great, she was super smart and thorough, but, you know, we were working on a timetable here. So after being there for so long and talking with her about, you know, our travel lifestyle and where we're going this summer and where we think we'll even be going next year, she had some recommendations for me, and we went over all the different types of medicine. I guess after this conversation with her today, I'm embarrassed to say this next part, but I'm just gonna say it, and don't call me a bad dog mom, because frankly it wasn't like this in California, but Carmen isn't on any type of heartworm medicine. When we first got her, she was a stray that my mom found, and we took her to the vet and she had hookworm, so we handled that. You know, we got rid of her hookworm when she was a puppy. We did do a course of heartworm treatment for her then, because the vet was scared because she was a stray, but we haven't done anything since. And I remember researching and looking up heartworm and seeing if we should do it for her. And our vet didn't recommend it, said it was, you know, a pretty strong medication and not absolutely necessary. After coming out here, it's been made very clear to me that it is absolutely necessary, and not just through my vet, but I'm on a couple different pet forums on Facebook, and after reading through some of the threads there, in the South and the East Coast, like, you really should have your animal on heartworm medication. They did a heartworm check, they did a blood test, and so she does not have heartworm right now, so that's fantastic, because that is a road I would have been so sad to go down. I have read that that's hard to get rid of in some pets, and it's a lengthy treatment process, and it's pretty scary. So I'm really glad we don't have to go through that. And so I guess I'll just show you the two medications that I got today. So this is the one I want to do a little more research on, but it's called Iverheart Max. I guess the company's called Virbac. And this is heartworm medication, and it says give 1 tablet by mouth on the same day every month for the prevention of heartworms. It says it also treats and controls roundworm, hookworm, and tapeworm. So that's great. I do want to do a little more research on that. I know some brands, you need to look who the manufacturer is, so if you are on Iverheart, or your pet's on, not you personally, that would not be good. If your pet is on Iverheart, let me know, and let me know how you like it, and if you've heard anything about that. And then for flea and tick, we went ahead and got Bravecto, and I've seen this brand mentioned a lot in the Facebook groups, so I feel pretty confident with this choice already. I'm still gonna do my own research to double check, but the fact that I've seen Bravecto come up so much for people on the East Coast in these Facebook groups saying that their pet has been on it for years makes me feel a lot better about this. So I will start her on those. The vet told me that I could give her both doses. One is monthly, the Bravecto is monthly, or maybe I got it backwards. Oh, never mind. So Iverheart is monthly. Bravecto is every 3 months. So the vet told me I could give her both tablets at the same time after a meal, but I've read online that if you want to see if they're having a reaction to one or the other, give them one, and then 2 weeks later give them the other dose of the other medication. And so if they have a bad reaction, you'll know it's from which medication. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm not really interested in starting a debate. It's so crazy. These Facebook groups can get so mean. People can get so mean to each other. So everyone has the same goal. We all want to protect our animals, and when you live the RV lifestyle, this is something that you do really need to think about. You're exposing your pet to different elements, different parts of the US, different insects, so they need to be protected in ways that maybe they weren't protected at home. I've read horror stories of oral medication, causing seizures and death, and it's so sad. But then I've also read about topical treatments being bad for animals as well. So she was on a topical flea, tick, and mosquito prevention, but I brought that in to show the vet because I can never remember the name of it, and the vet said that that really was not a good choice. After doing hours of research to pick that brand, all of these reviews, reading through all of these reviews to finally decide, okay, I made the right choice, this is the topical treatment we're going to start her on, to then just have the vet say it wasn't a good choice. It's just, you're going to find a difference of opinions on every single medication out there, on every single method out there. And I even asked about the flea collars. I forget the brand, but if you're into this topic, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But there's supposedly a flea collar out there that's just like magic. And the vet just didn't really recommend it because of different reasons. And after doing a little more research after I left the vet before I started this video, on that flea collar, it turns out that there's been a ton of cases of animals breaking out in body rashes and having seizures from that. It's crazy the amount of products that are out there and the side effects that can happen with each one. And it's like that, even if you're not talking about pets, it's like that with your own medication as well. So you need to just try and educate yourself as best as possible. Talk to the experts. I'm super guilty of this, but try not to Google too much. Definitely, do your own research, but I have a bad habit of getting very, very caught up, and if I see one opinion that doesn't agree with something, it just sets my mind in this downward spiral of maybe I'm not making the right choice. It's a crazy world out there, so you just need to do what's best for you and your pet. That's it. You can only make your most educated decision from that. I'm almost hesitant to even post this part of the video or post this video, but I think it's important to know for people that are getting ready to live this RV lifestyle and are bringing their dogs that these are the kind of things that you need to look into. Or maybe you're already from the East Coast and this is nothing of a conversation for you. You're yeah, duh, my dog's already on both those. My whole point to this is if you have an opinion on this topic and you want to let me know about one of these brands, or maybe the brand that you like, a topical treatment or a flea collar, I'm all ears. I want to hear about all options. So definitely let me know in the comments section below. And I guess all I'm asking with that long-winded explanation is to just keep it civil, because we all have the same end goal of keeping our pets safe. Anyway, so that's that. We also got her Bordetella shot done today. She was due for that. You normally don't need Bordetella unless you're gonna be, boarding your dog, but we might be, well, not might, we're definitely boarding her next month because we're going out of the country. I don't know if we've told you guys that in any other videos yet, but we are, so you'll see that later next month. So I wanted her to have Bordetella just as a precaution. And then she also got her flu shot, which I didn't even know dogs could get, but the vet recommended it out here for this area, and especially because we were traveling. I'm sure you can hear her drinking water. Yeah, so I wanted to be safe rather than sorry with the flu shot. We got that done for her today, and then it does need a booster, so I need to find another vet within the 2 to 4 week window from today's date to get her booster done for that. And then what else? Yeah, that's it. The heartworm test is on here because they would not let me buy heartworm medication without being 100% sure that she did not have heartworm, because apparently if you start them on heartworm medication and they already have a heartworm, that can kill them. So yes, they obviously had to do the heartworm test before, and then they did a fecal exam, probably just for fun, I don't know. No, just kidding. So then the last thing that they gave me, after the vet realized how paranoid I was of ticks, she scavenged around and found one of these, and it's a tick remover. It has a little cut at the end, or a little opening at the end of this spoon thing, so you literally can like get them in between that crevice and scoop them out. Sounds disgusting. I literally hope I never have to use this. That would be so gross. Look, they have the different sizes of ticks. Oh yeah, speaking of that, she gave me this pamphlet. I kept asking her questions about ticks. And then she gave me this piece of paper, and when she opened it, I could not help myself. The first thought that came to my head was, if I run into a tick this big, I will literally shit my pants. And thankfully her and the office staff thought that was hilarious, but they said it's not, they don't think this paper is to scale. But seriously, that's like bigger than my knuckle. Can ticks get that big? Ugh, that's so gross. I don't even understand. I'm not gonna look at this anymore. Of course, they always tell you, oh, you don't need to worry unless you're out in the woods, but guess what? Almost every campground we've been in is out in the woods. So it's pretty important to me, in my mind, to continuously check for ticks and make sure that she's not getting any, as well as us. And I guess the last portion that I kind of wanted to talk about and wrap this up with is, we get asked, not a ton, like it's not our most popular question, but we do get asked a lot about how is it traveling with Carmen, and you know, people really wonder, well, what am I gonna do with my pet? How do I RV with a pet? It just like doesn't make sense. And I get that thought process because it didn't really make sense to us either, and we had kind of worried about it before we left, but frankly I was so stressed out about other things like downsizing and buying the coach and which coach to get, that I wasn't too stressed about Carmen adjusting, just because she's such a laid-back dog that I knew she'd do fine. To answer that question, like, RVing with pets is exactly the same as living in a house with pets. Like, essentially to us it is, because we don't crate her, so she gets free range of the RV, and when we leave, just like we left the house, you know, we give her some treats and a Kong, and she just chills out. It's really not much different than home. So if you have like an aggressive animal or a barker or territorial dog, like that might be a little bit more challenging, just because you're changing their scenery all the time and you're introducing them to new people, your neighbors, and different dogs at the dog park. The only downside that I see is we used to just be able to open our back door and Carmen could run outside and burn off some steam, but she can't do that when we RV. Like, we have to go with her and we have to take her out on runs and walks, and I'd say that exercise is more important than an RV than it was back home. And I mean, to be honest, just to back up that statement, the vet did say that she's just a little bit overweight, and I kind of assumed that myself anyway, because you can tell, you can see your own dog's like body changing, so we knew, all right, we're kind of pushing it. We're gonna start exercising more, because frankly, Jason and I are starting to get a little overweight too. But we do have a plan when he comes back this week from his work trip, that we are going to start exercising and taking Carmen on her morning runs again. It's gonna be good for everyone in the RV. So I think exercise is probably more challenging in an RV with your pet than it was at home. So that's something to think about, but it's definitely not a deterrent. So if you're stressing out about RVing with your pet, I think it's very, very doable. Don't worry about it. But other than that, Carmen's vet appointment went great. Yes, she's a couple pounds heavier than she should be, but that is an easy fix. Other than that, her teeth were great, her ears were great, so she's in good shape, she's in good health. She better be planning on sticking around with us for a very long time because I love this dog so much, it hurts sometimes. Alright, well, I can't think of much else to say for this video. I'm starving, so I am going to go make lunch. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to join our getaway gang. If you have any questions or comments, as always, leave them down below, and we will see you next time. Well, I guess by we in this case, I just mean me and Carmen, but I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Ugh.